Let's start with our butt scoots. Good, and backwards butt scoots. Today we'll be working on stand-up stuff. We're going to be learning a new stance that I don't think you've ever worked on before. Good, and shrimps. Remember, you're trying to keep your body off the ground. Good, and reverse shrimps. Good, and then bridges. So we're gonna bridge to each corner, and you'll see a lot of guys when they bridge in this position, they'll actually reach with their hand as a reference point. We don't want to do that because when we extend our arm, we're giving up an arm bar. So we're gonna bridge and keep our elbows in. Yeah, 10 on each side. Okay, then once you've done that, you're gonna kick forward, and then you're gonna kick up. So forward, and then up, forward, and up. And you wanna try and get on your shoulders if you can. Good. Right now we're going to do crocodile push-ups. So push-up position, step a leg up, and do a push-up. Switch your legs, push-up, push-up. Good, and then we're gonna make our neck stronger so we can defend our chokes better. So on your back, you're gonna do yeses first. So as we're doing this, keep your head off the ground as much as you can. Like this. I'm gonna do 20 of these. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then nose, looking side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11, 12, 17, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then maybe, so ear to shoulders, ear to your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay? And then next, we're going to do our step throughs. So for here, we're going to step through, and just like that. And we're going to switch. Good, okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, Caden, can I borrow you, please? So the first thing that we're going to be working on is our offense from standing. So we're gonna be doing some two very simple, just the double leg and single leg. And we're working on that first just so we can use that to help us with our defense later on. So we're gonna be working towards down blocking, cross blocking, and then we're also going to be working on 3-point stance. So being able to be right here. So to start with, if I have Caden on his feet, I'm in my grappling stance. If I want to get past his defenses, so his defenses are his head, hands, his hips, and then lastly his heart, which that just means that if I get past all of his defenses, he's just gonna try his best to get out of it. So I can get past his head and his hands by doing this, dropping my level. Right, so if I'm here, I drop my level, and then I step in. I've just gotten past his hands and past his head, right? And then I can go in for the takedown. That's when he's gonna try and sprawl. So in the air, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be in a grappling stance. We're gonna drop our chest. We're gonna drop our level by squatting with our legs. Then we're gonna step forward to close the distance. You're gonna take your front leg. You're gonna fall to your front leg, and you're going to step up your back leg. Bam. Now from here, this leg that's on your knee, you're going to step up to the corner. Right? Because when I go in for a takedown, I want to take him to the side. Right? So if fact, Caden, can I borrow you again? So if Caden's standing right here facing you, right, and I push, and I'm here and I'm pushing him backwards, he can walk backwards. Right, but if he's standing there, and now I start pushing him sideways, and he tries to walk sideways, it's a lot harder for him to keep up walking like this. He's going to hit his legs together. So it's the same thing when we're working on a double leg. So when I'm here and I go in for a double leg, my goal is not necessarily to take him backwards. If I'm doing a special kind of takedown, like hooking the leg, then I might take him backwards. But I really want to take him to the side. From here, I'd step up. I'm taking him sideways. Okay? So go ahead and practice it with me. We're going to do our double leg, but we're stepping to the side. So we're here, grappling stance. You're going to drop your level, take a step with your front leg. You're going to fall to your front knee. Then you're going to step up your back leg. Good. And then you're going to step to the side. Bam. Just like that. Okay. So let's do it again. Right here. Drop your level, take a step, fall to your front leg, step up your back leg, and then go to the corner. Good. And again, let's do it a little faster this time. Drop your level, take a step, drop to that front knee, step to the corner. Good. And you can do it a little bit slower if it's hurting your knees on the hardwood. So we're here, drop your level, take a step, drop to your knee, step up, and step up to the corner. Good. All right. One more time. We're here. We're going to drop our level, take a step, fall to our front knee, bam. And then step up with the back leg, bam. And then step to the corner, just like that. Okay. So the next one, Mr. Caden, can I borrow you again? Is our single leg. So with our single leg, Mr. Caden. Mr. Caden's right here. It's pretty similar. But now instead of when I close the distance, instead of going in between his legs right here, I'm going to go to the outside of his legs. So I'm here, I'm in my grappling stance, I drop, I take a step, I'm stepping to the outside. And then I'm going to drop my knee right behind his ankle right here, right behind his heel. That's when I'm going to hug his leg and drive up to my feet. Okay? So, thank you, Mr. Caden. So we're going to practice that. It's very similar. So we're here in our grappling stance. We're going to drop our chest. We're going to take a step. But now instead of falling forward, we're going to fall our knees sideways. And we're going to rotate our hips. Bam. Good. And then from here, we want to imagine that we're grabbing a leg. We're grabbing a leg. Yep, just like that. And then you're going to drive up to your feet. Your knees are together and you're leaning forward. Good. Okay, let's do it again. So we're here in our grappling stance. We're dropping our level. Mic fell off again. We're here. We're dropping our level. We're going to take a step. I'm going to drop my front knee to the ground. Bam. Hugging the leg. And then coming up to my feet. Good. Let's do it again. So we're here. Grappling stance. Drop your level. Take a step. Drop your front knee to the ground. Hug the leg. And then come up to your feet. Good. Okay. All right, let's try it on the other side now. So we're here, you have your other leg in front. Drop your level, take a step. You're gonna drop your front leg to the mat. Hug, and then come up. Face the other direction so you can see. So we're here. Drop your level, take a step. Drop your front knee to the mat. Hug around, and then come up to your feet. Good, okay? All right, and then do your double leg on the other side. You're gonna drop, take a step, drop your front knee to the ground, step up. Good, and then step to the corner. You're going sideways. Good. Okay, So you're going to be in your grappling stance. If I call out single leg, you're going to do a single leg. If I call out double leg, you're going to do a double leg, okay? So you can do it on either side. Ready, and double leg. Good, ready, double leg. And single leg. And double leg. And single leg. Good. And single leg. Good, and time. Okay. Can I borrow you again? All right, so now, 5 Caden. He is trying to go for a takedown. He's trying to go for this double leg, or he's trying to go for this single leg. And so we need to defend it, okay? So I'm here. When Caden goes in for a double leg or a single leg, he's going to be attacking my front leg. And if he's attacking my front leg, I can replace it with my hand when I'm in my grappling stance, right here. And this is all it takes. Push my leg back and I replace it with that hand. Now, if I do it a little bit too late, let's say he goes in for a takedown and I don't finish it, right? That's when we switch to our sprawl, right? But if we see it coming, we can very easily just do our down block right away. Okay, so I'm here. Again, he's leading with his right foot onto my left leg. Okay, that's when I'm going to down block. So on your feet, please. Okay, so I'm here going for the takedown, Caden. Pick my front leg back and I replace it with my same side hand. And as I come up, I have to stay in a stance, a good stance. What a lot of people do is they'll practice this, they'll go bam, and then they'll come up and then they'll come back down. And if you're doing that, you're going to develop a bad habit of coming up after you work, after you do a drill. And if you've been drilling it that way 1,000 times, 100 times, and then you expect yourself to not do it during a match, that's unrealistic. So make sure that after every single time after you get that leg back, you stay in a good stance. Okay? So let's try it. So we're here. Take your front leg, you're going to kick it back and replace it with your hand. Good, and you're back in a good stance. You can even move around a little bit. We're here and down block. Bam. We're here, they go in for a takedown, down block. Good. I'm here, they go in for a takedown, down block. Good, and again, ready and down block. Good. We're in our stance. They go in for a takedown, down block. Good. Again, going for a takedown, down block. Excellent. And again, they go in for a takedown, down block. Okay. Again, they're going for a takedown, ready, and down block. Excellent. One more time, they go in for a takedown and down block. Okay. Can I borrow you again? So really quickly, on the same token, we can do something called a cross block. And it's the same purpose, but it's a little different. So if Caden, let's say I have my right leg in front and Caden has his left leg in front. So we're mirroring each other now. That's when I'm going to down block. Well, if he's leading with his front leg right here, that's when I'm going to down block. I'm going to cross block if he tries to lead with his back leg here. Okay. So if he goes to lead with that back leg, you step that back leg in front. Then I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use my back arm instead of my front arm. So I'm here. He goes in for a takedown. Bam. Just like that. Okay. So in the air, it looks like this. We're here. Instead of using that same hand, I'm cross blocking. Bam. Bam. Like that. Okay, so let's try it. Grappling stance. Front leg kicks back and cross block. Good. And make sure when you do that cross block, you're going to plant it exactly where your foot is. Right? Because, in fact, I'll show you. Caden, come here, please. I'll show you. If Caden goes in for a cross block, so a cross block is your backhand replaces your front leg, like that. There you go. But he puts his arm in the wrong place, going for a cross block, Caden. He puts his arm in the wrong place. He's just giving himself up for a sweep single. Okay? But if he's here and he goes in for his cross block and he puts it right where it needs to be, I'm going to hit his arm, and that's going to stop me from doing the takedown. Okay? So let's try it. We're here in our grappling stance. Our front leg kicks back, and our opposite hand, our backhand plants. Good. And then we go right back to the same position. Good. We're moving around. Front leg kicks back. Cross block. Good. Ready? Cross block. Good. And especially if you're planning on using these cross block, down block moves, you want to be relatively lower than a regular jiu-jitsu guy. And what I mean by that is wrestlers, they like to be super low because they do this stuff all the time. So they want their hands touching. You can be a little bit higher than that, so your fingers are almost touching. What you don't want to be is up here, like some grapplers are. And the reason for that, well, the reason people do this is because they like to go for throws. And when their posture's up, it means that their hips are closer. And if their hips are closer, it's easier to go for throws. So that's the reason they do it. But if you're going for defenses like this, if you're up tall and you're trying to go for a down block, you have to drop your chest so low, and it's just way too slow. So if you're using this, if you're going to use this skill, you have to grapple lower. So we're here, cross block. Good. Ready, and cross block. Good. All right, ready, and cross block. Good. All right, I'm going to either say cross block or down block. Okay, so we're here. Ready, and down block. Cross block. Down block. Down block. Cross block. Good. And down block. And cross block. Good. And cross block. And down block. Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on. So the next thing is our angles. So we need to know how to create correct angles. Jaden, can I borrow you again, please? I'm going to be borrowing you a lot. Thank you. So whenever we're going in for a takedown, we never want to go straight in. So if Caden's in a grappling stance right here, right? Just like we practiced even. If I go in straight for the takedown, all of his defenses are right there. His head, his hands, his hips, they're all right there in front of me. But as soon as I rotate my body, bam, so now I'm here, right? Now I've got control of his head. He has no defenses in his head. He only has defenses. Let's rotate this way, Caden. He doesn't have defense in his head. He only has defenses in his arm if he goes like this and then circles, right? In which case I've lost my angle. If he tries to hip in, he's hipping into nothing. So if we create this angle here, we've essentially gotten past all of these angles. So when I'm grappling Caden, right, and I'm going in for takedowns, I need to create an angle before I can shoot. And it's actually really simple, Caden. So I'm here. I'm in my grappling stance. All I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my body. So to get past his head defense, drop, and then circle. That's it. I'm here, I drop, and then circle. Okay? So let's try it. It's fairly simple. We're here, drop your level, circle your back leg. Good, just like that. And back here, do the other side. Squat, circle. Good. Again. Ready, and squat, circle. Excellent. And again, squat, circle. Good. Again, squat, circle. And then again, squat, circle. Again, and again, squat, circle. Bam. One more time. We're here, squat, circle. Good. Okay. So now, let me look at my list for a second. We have a lot of things containing the same lesson. Okay. So now we're going to be working on our 3-point stance. Okay. So our 3-point stance is when we're here and we're on a knee and we have one leg up. And let's say then our hand is planted, and then our other hand is up to keep distance. So our 3-point stance is very useful because it prevents our opponent from really going for any throws. One thing you have to be careful about, though, is especially athletic people, they're going to use that as a chance to get on top of you, whether that be a front headlock, right, and then just start working on their guillotines. But if you keep your head up, it's a pretty good stance, and I'll show you why. Mr. Caden, can you come here for a second? You might as well just join us because you'll be here so much. Okay, so you're right here. On your knees. 3-point stance. Okay. So if he's here, a lot of people, they're going to try, especially athletic people, they'll try and jump over and then attack like this. And some people will do it the more lazy route, and they're here. And they'll go in for this guillotine. But as long as Caden's scooting back, so stay in your good stance, scoot back and keep your head up, or circle and keep your head up, right? That's going to make it really hard for me. And then the last detail here is if Caden's keeping his head up, if I try to, let's scoot forward so she can see. If I try to snap him down, it's going to be really hard. Whereas if he puts his head down, and I try to snap him down, it becomes a lot easier. Okay? Thank you, Caden. So go ahead and get in this stance, 3-point stance. Our hand is up and our head's up. Good, and then just start moving around. Good, and you can even switch sides too, practice on the other side. See which side you like best. Good, and switch. Good, okay. So now we're going to work on the same thing, but we're going to go from standing into our 3-point stance. So we're here, and we're going to switch from standing into our 3-point stance. So go from here and drop to your knee. Good, and then start moving around. Good, and switch sides if you want to. Excellent. Yeah. Here, and then here. Good, okay. And then back to your feet. Drop, and come up. So if you understand your opponent. Maybe you've grappled them for a little bit and you know that they like throws, right? They like to go for throws. This is a good position to go to. So from standing up, right, you know that they're going to go for a throw. You can drop to right here. But then again, you have to be careful with this stance because the majority of jiu-jitsu competitors are guard pullers. And you'll see it less at our school because we emphasize takedowns so much, especially Jonathan. I know we've worked a couple of guard pulling stuff with me as well, but they're mostly guard pullers because the rules allow it, right? And when you go for takedowns, if you do it wrong, you're exposing yourself to people just pulling guard and choking you. But we're pretty self-defense oriented, and whenever you pull guard in a self-defense situation, you're putting yourself in a bad position. So we prefer not to just pull guard. However, that is a game that people like to play. So if people pull guard, you don't want to go into this 3-point stance because you're here, your hand's planted and your other hand's up. And if they're fast, they can get a triangle choke on you pretty quick. So over the shoulder and under the armpit. But again, if there are people, if they don't like to pull guard, like maybe they're a judo player that just started jiu-jitsu and they like to do throws, then this is a good stance. So about the situation. Okay. So now we are going to work on creating angles from our stand up, and then we're going to go in for that double leg, and then we're going to start putting all this together. Okay, so we're here. We're going to work on creating angles for our double leg, and then we're going to go in for our double leg. All right, so we're here. You're going to circle, and then you're going to drop your chest, take a step, and drop it for that double leg. Okay. So we're not just squatting and then stepping and then going for it. We're creating the right angle first, right? We're creating angles and then we're shooting for it. Okay, so we're here. Do it again. Squat, circle, double leg. Good. So go ahead and just practice that for a little bit. Circle, squat, double leg. And circle, squat, double leg. And again, circle, squat, double leg. Try it on the other side too. Circle, squat, double leg. Circle, squat, double leg. Bam. Circle, squat, double leg. Good, and time. Okay, so now we're gonna add this with our single leg. Right, so even with our single leg, we wanna create correct angles. Okay, so we're here. We're going to circle. We're going to squat. And then we're going to step and then drop to our knee. So working on the single leg, it's actually more natural from the circle because you wanna circle anyways when you go for single legs. So circle to the knee and then stand out. So I'll go a little slower. So we're here, circle, squat, well, squat circle, squat lower, step, drop to my knee, hug with my arm, and then stand up to my feet. Okay? Let's do it again. Grappling stance, squat circle, squat, drop my leg, hug with my arm, come up to my feet. Good, let's do it again. Grappling stance. Squat circle, my chest, take a step, fall to my knee, drop to my knee, with the arm, and 2 feet. Good, and let's try it on the other side as well. So we're here, elbows in, squat, circle, squat, take a step, drop to your knee, hug with the arm, come up to your feet. Good, and here, do it this way. Squat, circle, squat, take a step, drop to your knee, come up to your feet. Hug with that arm. Okay, a couple more times. Squat, circle, squat, take a step, drop to your knee, come up to your feet, just like that. Good, one more time. Squat, circle, squat, take a step, drop to your knee, hug, hug with your arm, so hug the leg, then come up to your feet. Good. Okay. All right, so now we are going to be adding our down block into our sprawl as well. Kaden, can I borrow you for a second? So sometimes when we're going for, when we're defending our takedown, they're not just gonna go into once, right, and give up, right? They're gonna go in for a takedown, and most likely, right, especially if they've been grappling a while, they know that usually the first takedown doesn't work, right? It's all about setting up one takedown to the next, kind of like how we were talking about setting up one submission to the next submission. It was on Tuesday we talked about that. All right, so I'm here, I'm in my grappling stance. He goes in for a takedown, drops his chest, takes a step, drops to his front knee, and I go for that down block, and after I come up, he steps in for another takedown, right? Now he's gotten past my head, he's gotten past my arms, right? So my only defense left is my hips. So I'm gonna take my hips, and I'm gonna hit Mr. Caden with my hips. Bam, like that. And usually they don't go flying. And then from here, after I hit him with my hips, I'm gonna kick my legs back and I'm gonna push on his head. Bam, just like this, okay? So we defended with our arms because he got past our head, and now we're defending with our hips because he got past my hands. All right, so we're here in our grappling stance. We're gonna take this front leg, we're gonna kick it back, bam. And then we're gonna take our hands, we're gonna plant them on the ground, kick our legs back, and land on our hip. Good. And then one detail that we didn't go over very much the last time we were working on sprawl is after we sprawl, we wanna go double hips down. And the reason for that is because when we do the sprawl initially, so we go in for a regular sprawl, we don't wanna hit with both hips because it allows their head to slide out. Right? If they're here and you hit with both hips, their head can slide out and they can slide with their knee to finish the takedown. So you only hit with one hip and that keeps their head down. But afterwards, you want to switch to both hips. Actually, this is better to show. Mr. Caden, can you come here, please? You want to switch to both hips to keep their head on the ground because you're putting more body weight on their head. And your entire body versus their neck, my entire body is going to win. Right? So I'm here. He goes in for a takedown. I go for that down block. He goes in for another one. I hit with my hip. I sprawl, and I hit with one hip. Right? So I have one hip on him. Now I take my hips, and I put both hips on him, like this. Okay? Now he tries to stand up, tries to sit up. Right? And it's really hard. Now I can just to start transitioning to different things. Okay? Thank you, Caden. All right. So let's practice it. We're here in our grappling stance. We're going to down block. Hit with your hip. Bam. Plant your hands, kick your legs back, and land on your hip. Good. And then back to your feet. Good. We can also put this together with our cross block. So we're here, cross block, hit with your hip, plant your hands, kick your legs back, and sprawl. Good. And then, I forgot this detail, circle to your feet. Good. All right, ready? Down block, hip, sprawl. Good, and then circle. All right, ready? Cross block, hip, sprawl, and land on one hip. Good, and then flatten both hips. Good, and then circle up to your feet. Excellent. Okay. Ready, and down block, hit with your hip, sprawl, and then circle, or flatten your hips and circle. Good. Okay, let's do this a tiny bit faster now. All right, so we're here, down block, hit with your hip, sprawl, flatten your hips, circle. Good, back into our stance. All right, ready? Cross block, hit with your hip, sprawl, flatten your hips, circle. Good. Okay. Excellent. So, all right, and then next we're going to be working on from standing. It's something called our low single. So, Katie, can I borrow you for a second? Good. So we're really close to putting this all together. So Katie's right here. Just grappling stance. Okay, so it's similar to the regular single leg, right? But now this time, I'm not going for his entire leg. I'm going for the bottom part of his leg, right next to his ankle. So it's actually kind of like a sweep. So go ahead and rotate this way. Same leg in front. Okay. So now I'm going to drop, and it's going to be a smoother motion. So I'm here. I'm going to drop, and I'm going to hook at his ankle. So I drop, I step, I drop my knee, kind of like I'm sweeping in. I grab below his ankle, and then I stand up. Right, and I've already got him right here. So with the regular single, it would look like this. Right, I drop, I take a step, I drop to my knee, I hug the leg, I drive him up, and then I push him back, and I pull him up here. Right? With our low single, we go straight to that step. Right, because I attack his ankle right away. I drop my chest, I step, I drop to my knee. Let's rotate this way. I hook the leg, and I come up. Okay, so let's practice it a little bit. And the reason we're working on the low single here is because we're going to end up doing it from our three-point stance as well. Because that's where you want to hit a single leg, a low single really. It's from your three-point stance. So we're here. Drop, take a step, drop your knee, and you're going to hook as you're dropping. So as you drop, hook with your arm and then stand up. Good, just like that. Good. Let's do it again. Grappling stance. Drop, take a step, drop this knee, hook with the arm, and then stand up. Good, and again. Start on the other side too. So we're here, drop, take a step, fall to that knee, hook with your arm, go up to your feet. Good. Okay. Caden, can I borrow you again? So now for the low single from our three-point stance. So we can get takedowns from our three-point stance as well. It's not just a defensive position. So Caden's right here, grappling stance. All right, so from here, I'm going to push forward with my back leg, and I'm going to hook with the hand that's planted. So I'm here, I'm going to push forward with my back leg, step with my front leg, bam, I'm going to drop my knee, I'm going to hook, let's rotate this way, hook at his ankle, and I'm going to come up to my feet. Okay, so I'll show it again. Here, let's rotate that way actually. I'm here, I launch forward, I drop to my knee, and I hook, like that, okay? Thank you, Caden. So let's try it. So you're gonna be in your 3-point stance. Good. You're gonna launch off your back leg, step with your front leg, bam. You're gonna drop that front knee, so you switch. Take your back hand, you're gonna hook, and you're gonna come up to your feet. Good, and again, do it 2 more times, and then we're gonna put everything together after that. So we're here, launch forward, drop your knee, hook with that hand, and come up to your feet. Good, and let's try the other side now. 3-point stance. Launch forward, drop that knee, hook the leg, and stand up. Good. Okay, we went over that pretty quickly because we're gonna go over everything now that we worked on. Mr. Caden, can I borrow you again? So I have Caden here. Okay, so I'm here and I'm going to create my angles. All right, so Caden, we're grappling. I drop, I turn, I create my angles, and I go for a single. Bam, just like that. And I come up, and he kicks out. Kicks out. Back into his grappling stance. I circle the other way, and I go in for a double leg. And he down blocks. Bam, just like that. All the way back up to our feet, okay? And as we're coming up, Caden's gonna go in for a takedown himself. So we down block. And then as we come up, he goes in for another takedown with his other leg. So we cross block. All right? And as we come up, he goes in for another takedown. And we sprawl. And yes, sometimes that does happen, and you do have to do all of that. Okay? From here, I sprawl. I'm going to circle up to my feet, and he's going to circle as well as I'm circling. And I'm going to drop into my 3-point stance. Okay? And then from our 3-point stance, we're going to go in for that low single. Okay? So let's try it. Grappling stance. Ready, and squat, circle. Drop to your knee. Hug with your arm. Come up to your feet. They kick out and they circle. So we circle to the other side. We're going to drop, squat, take a step, drop to our knee, come up for that double leg, and then they sprawl and they circle out. So we're here. Right as they circle out, they go in for a takedown. So we're going to down block. Good. And then we're going to cross block. Good. And then they come in for that takedown for the finish. And we're going to sprawl. Bam, we land on our hip. And we're going to circle up to our feet. Good. And then we're going to go in for the 3-point stance. Then we're going to launch off of our back leg. We're going to fall to our knee. We're going to hook up. We're going to come up to our feet, just like that. Okay. So that's a good example of what might happen in a grappling match. Right? That's what might that's what might happen. However, sometimes it's a little bit slower, as in like there will be fast bursts and then they'll stop for a second to think a little bit and to make sure they're not just rushing in to get themselves taken down. But a lot of that, not necessarily in that specific order, I've had to deal with in grappling matches. So doing things like this in an order, while it may not be true that you're going to do this very specific order of things in a match, it teaches you what you can do. It teaches you what's possible, and it's a good teacher, I suppose. All right, so both legs out. Go ahead. Mr. Caden, go ahead and unmute Ms. Clara, please. Yeah, you're gonna have to unmute yourself. Okay, I'll give you less than a minute, 30, 20 seconds to think about this. What was your experience in class today? Give you a little bit to think about it. One leg out.
I learned the 3-point stance.
3-point stance? Yeah, it's a good stance to have in your toolkit. Switch your legs. Yeah, I personally don't use it very often. That's just my style of grappling, but I know a lot of people that do use it often. So I'm not here to teach you my style of grappling specifically. I'm here to teach you the skill set that you need to create your own style. Good. And then one leg over, hug your leg. Good. And then I'll give you a little bit to think about it. What was one thing that you are doing well at?
I'm getting better at down blocks.
Down blocks? Yep. So the next step is then to have people actually try and get takedowns on you. Once you drill it over and over and over again and you have the skill down, the only thing left to do is really just have it done on you live to improve. There's even a little game where people have mat shoes on. They have little tags on their shoelaces, and basically you have to try and pull off their tag. It's a good activity to work on reaction time. Try and figure out how to do it with our class as well. Good. Did we switch our legs? Okay. All right, right here. Good. And then the next thing is one thing that you need to improve on.
I need to improve on my takedowns.
Takedowns? Yeah, so we spent a lot of time today working on the takedowns very mechanically, as in we did it very step-oriented, step-by-step oriented. And realistically, when we're doing it on another person, it's not going to be as structured like that. As in, you're not going to be able to pause and say, okay, I did step 1. Okay, I did step 2. Okay. All right, and then on your back, whoop, one leg goes over, you're going to reach in between your leg and around, and then pull your knee to you like this. Oh, oh, this. Good. Whoop. Excellent. So go ahead and switch sides. So there's a lot of pros and cons to working online like this. One of the pros is it allows us to work on our basics a lot more because if we don't have a partner, that's a lot of what it is drilling on the basic movements of doing it, because once you start getting into the complexities of what our opponent's doing and different things we can do based on different body types, it gets really confusing when you don't have another person to actually do it on. But just drilling the basic movements over and over and over again is going to create a solid base for when we come back and actually start drilling live, which is one of the cons, is we don't get to drill live here because that's learning our soft skills. Even though we're not drilling it, we're still learning a lot when we go live. Okay. All right, go and shake it out. All right. Go and stand tall. Good, and Focione. Right, high five. Thanks for coming.